Hi everybody, welcome to This Evening with Nikki, Parenting and Relationship Life Coach. Today I want to discuss with you guys 8 questions that you can ask to deepen any relationship. But first, don't forget to subscribe to whatever media you're watching this post on, like and share it with your friends if you find it useful. So let's get started. The first question that you can ask is, what am I doing right? What am I doing that you'd like me to continue doing or doing more of? I think this is very important. Sometimes we might be doing certain things in a relationship that we do it out of the goodness of our heart, or we do because it's worked in the past. Other people have shown a positive response to it, but we're not exactly sure if it's going to work in every relationship. So it's always good to check in. And sometimes you may be doing something that you're not even sure that it's helpful or good. But when you ask your partner and they let you know, when you do this or when you did this one time for me, I really like that. And so it can give you something to gauge yourself and your own actions and behavior in a really good way. Another thing is, what's something that I should be doing less of? Sometimes we're doing things and again, we might think it's helpful, but the person does not take it that way at all. It's upsetting to them, or it's just another way for you to be able to gauge yourself. What are some of the things that you should be doing more of? What are some things that you could be doing a little bit less of? Another thing is, what is something that I do that makes you feel confident? Now, before I read this myself, I had never really thought about it. What is something that I personally do that makes someone else confident? I thought it was fascinating. And confidence actually is linked to trust. Confidence and trust are linked directly to one another. So if you can make the person that you're in a relationship with, if your partner is feeling very trusting towards you, that's increasing their confidence. If they're very confident, they're also being more trusting towards you. And conversely, if there's a lack of trust, there's also insecurity. Now, a lot of people come into relationships inherently with just a lack of trust. They've entered this relationship, whether it's previous, baggage that they brought in with them or whatever it may be, they're really lacking trust, and therefore they're very insecure with you in that relationship. And that's one thing to look at as well. So maybe if you can help them to build their trust towards you, that insecurity can kind of diminish a little bit. Another thing you can is asking them what their love language is. Now I'm going to do another post where we talk solely about love languages. It's very interesting. Make sure you look for that one. But asking your partner what their language, what their love language is so important, because we can learn and understand better how they love to be loved, how they need to be loved, and also how they're going to show love to you. So knowing what their language is, what their love language is, it's going to help you to be able to love them the way that they need to be loved, which is really important. Because when we're not being loved in the way that we're feeling it, it could be the way that you're showing love because you like to be loved that way. But unless we're showing love to our partner in their own love language, they're really not feeling the love that we have for them. Another thing, and it's linked to the opposite side of the coin to that is, what is your fight style? And this is important because you can be very prepared for the inevitable fights that are going to be coming. So when you ask your partner what their fight style is, it's going to prepare you for later on any fights that come. If their style is to yell and scream, and you have bad experiences maybe from your childhood about that, you guys can talk about that before it even happens, before you get to your first fight. The next question you guys can ask is, what do I do that makes you uncomfortable or anxious? And that's a really good one as well, because a lot of times we may be doing something. I remember someone was talking about, every weekend, him and his wife were working together, and every weekend he wanted to make it a little bit easier for his wife, talk about work, get her ready for Monday, asking her, to make a list of what needs to be done, and getting ready for the Monday work day. And he thought in his mind that it was being helpful, and the wife sat him down one day and said that, every time you talk about work on the weekend, it makes me really anxious. I want to take time to just relax. I don't want to think about work on the weekends. And by you bringing this up, it's just creating more anxiety. whereas he's just thinking he's being super helpful. So all of this is, about communication. Communication is definitely key. One more thing you can ask is there something about you that you would like me to know that I don't know already? Sometimes, our partners expect us to know everything, to ask all the right questions, to just, be magicians and mind readers. And if you bring this up, they might, think to themselves, take a little bit of time to think like, yeah, I really wish that my partner knew whatever it could be, something about my past, something about my needs or desires, maybe a fantasy that they have, and it just hasn't organically come up in the relationship. But when you give that space for them to talk about it, they may not know right away, maybe need to reflect on it a little bit, but it can be something very important in the relationship. And finally, one thing you can ask is this relationship going in the direction that you want it to? Now, there's a little caveat here, don't ask this question in the middle of a fight or an argument or towards, around a breakup time. You ask this question when the relationship is secure, when you guys are just having a nice, intimate conversation with one another. So asking them, is it going in the right direction? And if it's not, what direction would you like to see it going? All of these are getting you closer to being more vulnerable, more intimate, having deeper connections, and definitely deepening any relationship. I hope you guys enjoyed these 8 questions that you can ask your partner. Tell me if there's a question on here that you guys think about, something that can deepen a relationship that I didn't mention. I would love to hear from you guys. Don't forget to like and send me all your questions and comments. Until next time, this is Nikki with Togetherness TV. Take care.
Togetherness Media. Togethernessmedia.com